And we're live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Dylan Talks Tone. Welcome to the Thursday night live stream and Q&A from Patreon and from our YouTube members, as well as all of y'all's in the comments section in the chat. Hopefully you can participate and ask some guitar questions as well. As always, our live streams are ad-free, so that means that these live streams are sponsored by you. So whichever way you feel you want to support the channel, you can do so by watching, by liking, by subscribing, by sharing. Those are all free things. And then, of course, there's super chats and etc. to keep us ad-free. And then also, Dylan Talks Tone, which is where all of our parts are that we make around here. Every Saturday, we've been doing some limited drops. As we go through the show tonight, I'm going to be sharing some sneak peeks of some really cool stuff that's coming out Saturday. Saturday drop that I have never done before. This is all brand new stuff. I've never done it. And I'm really excited about it. In fact, one of the things that we're doing might actually make it into production, full-on production in the next few weeks, if you all think it's cool. So I'm going to share that with you in a little bit. Right off the top, I will tell you that the hat of the week in the limited drop is going to be the Sustain Brothers hat, purveyors of Sustain since 2013. We've had the Sustain Brothers t-shirt for a while now. I didn't
even notice you were matching.
Yeah, well, I did that because I wanted to show the shirt.
I'm going to interrupt you. Because Van Shank Guitar sent us a super chat and said, keeping it ad-free. Thanks, Ivan.
So Saturday, thank you very much. So Saturday's hat is going to be kind of like a bluish camo with the blue Sustain Brothers logo on it. I'm really hoping to make this into a staple thing. The thing that we're going to make into production is not this, but I'm really hoping to make this into a sustainable thing, because the whole Sustain Brothers Guitar Club is something that I want to make into a thing. Anybody that really gets it should have this stuff and wear it, and it also doesn't say Dylan Talks Tone on it anywhere. It's just its own thing. I want people that really get guitar tone and enjoy playing just to play, because we know that this is just a joke. The shirt says handmade and tap tested. You know, those of you that have a sense of humor will love it.
Super chat from Tony Leonardi. Thank you for the super chat, Tony. He said, just want to wish you guys a simple congratulations. Really happy and been a part of it. Thanks, Tony.
Thank you. So yeah, just I'll be sharing some of that stuff throughout the old live stream here as we go. But for all the haters who are in the comments already, we probably should get into the first question that contains the thumbnail. And start talking about that stuff right away. And because it's a little bit involved. A little bit. Not much.
Involved.
Yeah. What does Brian Goulet Pen Company say? Deep dive. Like more than just wading around ankle deep.
Who has a fully involved sandwich? Is that Firehouse?
Yeah. Fully involved sandwich. Yep.
Fully involved? Am I making that up? It's fully something. Anyway.
I can't remember. Yeah, you're right, though. It's something like that.
You ready?
Yep. Let's do the first question.
It's from Alonzo.
Thanks, Alonzo.
Again, congrats, Dylan and Leslie. What's up with measuring the ohms of a pickup? Measurements usually include each pickup selector position. What does it tell you? And how do you use it to fine-tune the tone you seek from the guitar? Does it have anything to do with hot pickups? And what does that mean? Thanks, guys, and I will see you this evening.
Thanks, Alonzo. You can take it down if you want. We'll talk about this for a few minutes. So when we talk about the resistance of a pickup, how many ohms it is, like how many kilo ohms is what you're actually, when people say how many K is that pickup, they're saying kilo ohms. Basically, it's the resistance of the wire that is on the coil. It is only a broad, very broad, kind of, it's a very broad measure of approximately how much wire is on the coil. But in order to understand even that, you need to know what gauge the wire is, because thinner wire has a higher resistance per foot than thicker wire. So you could have an 8K pickup with 43 gauge wire, and you could have an 8K pickup with 42 gauge wire, and they would sound completely differently. So you kind of have to know some stuff. Now, as far as, I don't mean know some stuff as in knowledge, like, oh, I'm so smart about pickups. I just mean you need to kind of know some information, right? That isn't always published. We never publish our wire gauges that we use. We never publish our wind counts, anything like that. But you have to know the diameter of the wire, so the gauge of the wire, and you have to know, and then when you measure it, you can kind of figure out kind of quote unquote how hot the pickup is. But the problem with using that as your gauge is, what do you mean by hot? Because when we say hot, in the technical term of that, what we're really talking about is making more voltage. But when we make more voltage, it's not always louder, because a pickup is a mid-range vocal instrument, right? A guitar is a mid-range vocal instrument. It shares the same frequency kind of characteristics as the human voice. And so we really, if we're not being heard in a band mix, we don't need a hotter pickup. We need something that has a frequency response that can be heard amongst the band mix. So a hotter pickup is going to do a couple things. One is it's going to hit the amp harder. It's going to throw a lower wattage amp into compression and overdrive sooner. And more windings on a pickup, i.e. higher resistance, will do that. But there's a lot of other stuff that happens as a result of that. So as the resistance goes up, the density of the wire goes up, then the the ability for that pickup to make high frequencies effectively goes down. So there's some kind of gives and takes with all of that. So what you really have to do is kind of understand the goal of what you're trying to do. A lot of folks don't need a hotter pickup. A lot of folks actually need a lower output pickup. So when people call me and they'll be like,
Interrupt you.
go ahead.
Super chat from Searching for Tone. Thank you for the super chat. It says, congrats. Here's to add to the fund for Leslie's Tiffany silver play button bracelet. Congrats to you too, Dylan.
I was shopping for it yesterday.
What?
I can't figure out how to get the play button on the heart, though. Can't figure out who to get to do that.
Super chat from Miserable Turd. Thank you for the super chat. He said, didn't Hannibal Lecter say that to Clarice? What does it do, this tone you seek? LOL.
Oh my gosh.
Clarice.
So
Thank you.
thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. Anyway, so we're not always trying to just make the pickup louder, because the pickup isn't louder if it's hotter. It's actually just making more voltage. And so you're not always making the pickup louder if you're not making the right frequencies. So the true kind of value of the pickup is actually inductance, which is the efficiency of the coil and the magnet working together. And so, you know, how many henries, that's the word for it. Most people do not publish those numbers. The inductance of the pickup is the kind of interaction between the gauge of the wire, the thickness of the wire, or the gauge of the wire, the thickness of the insulation, the shape of the coil, as in the height, the width, and the length of the coil, the density of the wind, the strength of the magnetic field, the shape of the magnetic field. All of those factors put together are going to give you your inductance. Now, just because that inductance pickup is higher or lower doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to sound a certain way, but it's a baseline for you to then design off of. And so you hear all of this, and then the other number is magnetic Gauss, which is the strength of the magnet. But the strength of the magnet can screw you up because you can also change the shape of the magnetic field. So this might sound like, how will I ever make my mind up buying a pickup? Because it's just everything is everywhere all the time. It's like so crazy. That's why we kind of do things differently here. I don't necessarily, when somebody calls me and says, or sends me a message and says, can you make me a hot P90? The very first question I ask them is, what is your guitar doing right now that you don't like? And what is your guitar not doing that you want it to do? 99% of the time, it's, I want to be heard in a mix. Okay, then just buy one of my P90s. Or because our P90s have a really good mid-range bump when they're wide open and they have great clarity on top, you're going to be heard in a mix. We don't have to wind it hotter to get there because we've already done the research to know where it's supposed to be to do that. But those are why you need to talk to your pickup builder, whether it's me or anybody else, and ask all those questions. This is the amp I use. This is how I play it. This is what I use the guitar for. Can I get there with this pickup? No, I would actually recommend this one instead. And you'll find in our pickup line anyway, that our idea is to make everything kind of as wide ranging. I don't mean wide range humbucker, but I mean like wide ranging as possible, flexible and adaptable as possible. We do not have a model for this kind of music, a model for this kind of music, a model for this kind of music. We actually try to make things as adaptable as possible. So those numbers, I'm not saying they don't mean anything, but when you're shopping for pickups, don't get super hung up on the little graph on the Seymour Duncan site that says high output, low output, high frequency, low frequency. Like, don't get too hung up on that stuff. Use it as sort of a gauge to sort, okay, 14K pickup. Ooh, that's pretty hot, right? Is that going to give you exactly how that pickup is going to sound? No. But it kind of gives you like a ballpark, like, wow, that's a pretty hot pickup. 7.6, oh, that's more close to a vintage wine PAF. You know what I mean? Like, as you start to familiarize yourself with those numbers, but that's not going to give you your end result. You'll need to have a good conversation with whoever's making your pickups to kind of dial you in a little bit closer to the mark that you're trying to hit. There you go. That's all I got.
Super chat from Doc Siltonen. Thank you for the super chat, Doc. He said maximum versatility.
Thank you. That's what we go for. That is exactly right.
Do you want to hear, I don't know what's next. Do you want to hear thoughts from folks or additional questions based on the conversation?
Based on that? Yep. Mm-hmm. Let's do it.
All right. So Jim Richards had a couple questions. He said, what about changing pole diameter and length? Will that change the tone any?
Yep. Oops, sorry. Yes, absolutely. Because when you change the pole diameter, you change. So if you make a magnet fatter, say go from a regular Telecaster pickup to a quarter pounder, the magnetic dipole moment at the end of that magnet, we're getting super nerdy here. I could talk about this for half an hour, but the magnetic dipole moment, which is the little point at the top of the magnet that where it kind of like sucks the hardest, is a different shape. It is a different strength. When the pickup magnet is longer, it gets stronger. And when the pickup diameter is wider, it gets stronger. So those are all factors that you have to work into designing a pickup. Yep.
His next question was, what happens if you were to wrap the wire in a figure 8?
Well, you would have to do that by hand because you can't do that on a winder. Now, I have tried some backwards, forwards, weird stuff. And what will happen if you start doing too many things with your wind direction is you'll kill your inductance because we're just dealing with a force that's pushing. So then if you have the force pulling the opposite direction, it cancels itself out. So I've done that before. I've tried some various stuff like that. Yep.
All right. Next one. Mm-hmm. Ivan says, hi, Dylan. Hi, Leslie. So I finally received my new Fender Bassman head. The cabinet is raw tweed. Would it be better long term to shellac the tweed or just let it age as is? Also, one of the 12AX7s is microphonic. Can I just replace the one or should I get 3 new ones?
So if it's a 12AX7 in the preamp side, now, mind you, I am not a super amp guru, but what I do know is that power sides work in a push-pull pair, so you want to make sure that those are matched. 12AX7s in the preamp side, the V1, V2, and V3 all have different jobs. So you can pretty much, it's like a volume and a tone knob. You know how that they don't really need to match. Same thing with a V1, V2, V3 for different reasons, obviously, but they should be they should be within spec, but you shouldn't worry about it too much.
What about the shellac question?
Honestly, I would like go change my oil, not wash my hands, and move the amp around and like kick it down some stairs and stuff. Like I would really like my amps. If I had a tweed amp, I would want to beat up. Yeah.
Super chat from Miserable Turd. He said, put this towards your next celebratory Chick-fil-A feast. By the way, I tried Seymour Duncan P90s long ago. They blow chunks compared to yours.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much.
I forgot we were like, you talked about Chick-fil-A.
Our Chick-fil-A celebratory meal yesterday.
Yeah. All right. Shane. Good morning, legendary Leslie. Is that the one we landed on? And dynastic Dylan. Is it difficult to replace a 6-point trim with a 2-point?
Yeah, it's almost impossible, actually. In fact, you just reminded me of something. Hang on. I'm distracted one moment. Okay. I'm going to tell you something that you made me think of. We're going to try something. So, yes, it's almost impossible because the holes, where they are, they'll overlap with each other. What you really actually have to do is fill holes and then re-drill them. So it's kind of a pain.
Jay. Evening, Dylan and Leslie, and congrats on receiving the 100K award. Looked awesome. What kind of solder iron bit do you prefer, fine or chisel tip?
Chisel 1/8 inch. I don't go any bigger than an 1/8 inch because sometimes you got to get in between places, like especially if you're going down into, most of the time I solder things outside of the guitar, then I put them in the guitar. But if you have to get down into a Les Paul and like unsolder something, you don't want to be wider than an 1/8 inch. But I don't like pointed tips because they don't transfer heat as well. So I like a chisel tip, but it can't be super wide. Before we go on, I'm going to tell you right now, because y'all had this idea. And
pointing at me?
No, everybody out there had this idea. And because y'all are here and people are always wanting me to have sales. Okay. So we're going to try something. But it only works if you buy something. So what we're going to do is for the first 2 hours of the drop on Saturday.
Okay.
And this will also, you're the OGs. Y'all are here. I'm not going to put this anywhere. I'm not going to put this on the internet. I'm not going to put this anywhere. So
is the internet?
I know, but I'm not going to post it anywhere. You have to be watching right now or in replay before Saturday to know this. Okay. You're going to be able to use the code Lovely Leslie, all lowercase, for the first 2 hours of Saturday's drop for 20% off.
Are there any restrictions?
Anything on
that's a big deal.
Anything on that drop.
Oh, okay.
Anything on that drop. Well, anything anything in the
Active drop.
active, yeah, because there's some stuff left over from last week too. So anything on the Saturday drop pickup vault page.
Ooh.
Okay.
That's a big deal.
Yeah. I don't ever do this stuff, but
Well, you definitely don't do merch.
No, I don't do merch. Oh, the only thing we can't do, I should say, the only thing we cannot do is t-shirts. Because I don't make them.
That.
Yeah, the t-shirts are third party, but the hats, like we make in house. Like we cut the patches here and we press them, and I buy the hats and inventory them and all that. So that we do have control over this. But and even like I've got, I think, a few of the dump trays left, and we've got some bottle openers and some other stuff, like all that stuff that's in that section. Lovely Leslie, we will do we'll do 20% off because it was their idea last week.
So it'll be like 9 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Eastern time. Yep.
On Saturday.
Mm-hmm. It'll be 2 hours. So I'll leave it open for 2 hours. That way,
y'all don't let me down. My name.
I mean, your name's on it now.
Jeez.
But I was like, how do we do this? And we do it for the people that actually come and watch this thing, right? Like, it was their idea. I want to give them credit for doing it. So that's what's going to happen. And it's going to be, that's what it's going to be. Anyway, I'll set that up tonight so that it'll be like.
So you don't forget again.
Yeah, I know how to do it to where I can make it between hours and stuff. So.
All right. Robert. Hello, Leslie and Dylan. No rehearsal for me tonight. I feel like he said he had to be somewhere else, though. No rehearsal for me tonight, so I'll be live with you and our friends. Lucky me. I saw Tim Shaw present Fender's Cobalt Chrome magnets for bass and telly. Can you give us your thoughts on them? Thanks again to you and everyone.
I don't really have thoughts on them. I think that it's just a way to do something different without having to do something different. Because you don't have to cut anything. You have to design them, right? And you have to like do all the R&D to make them sound good, but you don't have to cut any holes. You don't have to order anything different except for the magnets. Like if the the flat work, they can change the flat work, probably the easiest of anything. And even, I don't know if they're different sizes or anything. So, I like that. We've been doing a lot of that here too. Like you got to work within stuff that'll fit in a guitar, and you have to have some sort of imagination with how are you going to make it different. Which is what we're doing, with these drops and stuff. So I don't think it's going to be any groundbreaking, oh, this is the new hotness and everybody has to have one. But would I add it to my collection if I was kind of into that and wanting all the different kind of stuff? Yeah, probably I would. I'm not going to, but I can see where people would for sure.
Super chat from Joey Dano Guitars. Thanks, Doug. Sorry, I'm distracted on a visit out of town, but thanks for you, ad free.
And thank you, Doug. Also, Doug, your guitar is done.
Ooh.
And so I will be shooting the video about it tomorrow morning, and that video will come out tomorrow night. Kind of last minute, but I've been playing with it and it's been super fun. I keep wanting to say underpit.
Thanks, Bryson.
Yeah. The under pick guard pickup is super freaking cool. It works. It's really neat, man. Does it sound like a 64 Telly? No, but it's really cool. And I'm super stoked. The reason I didn't put it in the video the other day, I couldn't get the guitar to work.
What happened?
Like, what the heck's going on? The guitar doesn't work. And I was like, so mad because I'm like, I replaced everything in here.
What happened?
So annoyed. A little drop of solder, when I put the output jack on, dropped down and shorted out the output jack. So the guitar was completely dead.
Nice.
And I was just like, you have got to be kidding me. Like, I'm like pulling out my hair. I'm like, did I ruin the switch? I changed out pots? Like, is the volume pot bad? Because if the volume pot goes bad, that can kill the guitar too. And I'm like, what am I doing? And then I started freaking out because I'm like, I was trying to put a 4-way switch in it. And I'm like, if this doesn't work, I've been selling this to people and it doesn't work. Like, I was like flipping out, and and it was just a little drop of solder, like went in the wrong spot. And I was like, oh man. But that's why sometimes you have to walk away from that, because that's what I did. I left it on the bench and I came back the next morning, and I mean, I fixed it in 2 seconds, but it was just like, otherwise it would have already been in a video, but it was just, I had to walk away from it and fix the dumb problem. Like, it was so funny.
All right. Charles says, Leslie and Dylan, thank you for sharing your evening with us. Thank you for all of the great pickups you have made me. They make playing fun. I have learned so much from you, and I am looking forward to many more videos.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Robert is here. I apologize for thinking you were somewhere else. Robert Hastings said, thanks for answering my question on the Cobalt Chrome. I thought it was more to give them something to differentiate themselves.
So going back to that for just a second, what I kind of, and again, this goes back to, you all are in the Sustain Brothers Club and you know better. I just don't want it. I never want to come across and be like, and feed that whole machine of like, you have to have these because this is going to be the next thing. This is better. Because you know what I'm talking about. People have conversations about pickups and they'll be like, well, it's better if it has X, Y, or Z, or it's better if it's this kind of wire, or it's better if it's the tone is blah, blah, blah. When people say, does it affect the tone? What they're asking really is it better? Does it make it worse? And when we talk about pickups, especially, it's just 32 flavors, man. Like, you're just picking a flavor of ice cream or whatever that you like. And so there's no reason to be like, well, I only play this kind because it's better than all the others. Not really. It's like, I want to have like 3 or 4 flavors in stock depending on my mood, you know? So we only have 1 flavor in stock right now, I think.
Of what?
Ice cream.
I doubt it. You eat it all.
Yeah, it's true. So, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's more about just exploring flavors than it is, does everybody need to have a particular kind of, wire or a particular kind of measurement or whatever, to have good tone? And the answer is no. Like, you can have cool stuff and it can just be cool and it can sound good on its own without comparing it to anything else. And that's the other reason why I really want to embrace these custom pickup drops. And you are making your guitar, by buying this stuff, you're making your guitar really unique. Nobody's going to have this stuff. And it's still going to sound good. And people are going to be like, well, does that pickup cover affect the tone? Does that... Put it in your guitar and play it. It's going to be freaking amazing, and it's going to look awesome, and all your friends are going to think you're cool because you're the only one that has, an Enduro, for example. See how I segued that in there? An Enduro, for example, with a clear pickup cover that you can actually fit in a humbucker slot that looks awesome because the top of it is clear acrylic. Like, you're going to be the only one of your friends that has that. That's dropping Saturday. And it doesn't affect the tone, but people will ask, well, does it affect the tone? No, it doesn't. It's fine.
All right.
Yeah.
What's next?
Super fun. I don't know. Is that the last one?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hope some people got some questions then.
All righty. Moving on.
Let's do it.
JK. JK said, I've played a long time, but never messed with any different pickups. Will certain pickups help with pinch harmonics?
Yes. It depends on your guitar. It depends on your playing style. But lower output pickups a lot of times won't do that as well. So in our line, like our Super 8, which is an Alnico 8 pickup, our Quattro, which is a ceramic pickup that's real hot. our 8-ball, which is a ceramic pickup that's about 10K or 9.5 or something. That'll do it. I believe it is in my build ethos that I don't think stuff needs to be as hot as people think it does to do the things that you want it to do, because you lose so much more dynamics when you go super crazy like that. But I think it can make a big difference with that.
Mike Seedorf had a couple of questions. First one is, have you heard of Jaden pickups? And if so, what do you think about them?
I have not. And I have not.
Second one, what are your recommendations for an 80s hairband toned with a humbucker bridge, rail in the neck, 1 volume, 1 tone, 3-way blade switch, push-pull pots, along with what is better, lower ohms or higher?
So if that was my guitar, first of all, I wouldn't put a blade pickup in the neck, because but if you already have it, then you already have it. Then I would leave that alone. Whatever it is, it's probably fine, because those just kind of have a thing. They just do a thing. From our lineup in the bridge position, that's where I would put our Super 8 pickup. It's a low whine count, so it's a very PAF whine count, but it's got a hotter magnet in it. So it's got a little bit more edge to it. It's got a little bit more top end clarity when you push it with gain, but it's still got a good strong mid range, so you didn't get lost in a mix. And so it'll handle those higher gain situations and a higher gain amp better, but it won't give you that, but it'll still be dynamic enough. When you look at the pickups that folks were using in the 80s, they were not using really, really hot stuff. Some of them were, but a lot of that stuff didn't come out until later, Yeah.
Steve Rezer wants to know, can you laser it on the heart? Talking about the play button, I guess.
I just have to buy a new laser.
Gary Adams says, I'm prototyping a pickup type that has not yet existed. If it works, how can I contact you so you can check it out?
You can hit me on my website in the chat. That's probably the easiest way.
Marcia Murray says, can you put a plate on the bottom of a humbucker like a Tele bridge pickup to, quote, increase horsepower?
Yes, you can. And that's actually something I'm working on right now. Yep.
T-Bone. Good evening, Leslie and Dylan. Dylan, do you prefer a lower output single coil pickup as opposed to high output like Texas Specials, which become very harsh when adding gain?
I hate Texas Specials. They're like my least favorite pickup of all time. I do not like them. So that being said, you can do higher output Strat pickups that hit the amp really hard and are really fun. The model we make for that is our Highway 99, which is basically I took because I have a Mike McCready Strat, and I was like, I want sort of that vibe where, that Pearl Jam higher, heavier sound. But like you said, I don't want it to come apart when I'm doing anything. I want it to be stratty when I want it to be stratty, but I want it to be heavy when I want it to be heavy, and I don't want it to come apart. And I don't want it to be mushy. Texas Specials are so flat. They just, I don't know. They don't really ever compress right because there's no high end for them to even cut when they compress. So they just kind of just get muddy, and I hate that. And so our Highway 99s are like that. You can do it, but you'll also see that if you look at our Highway 99s, I think they're only like 6.8K or something. So they're not really hot. They're a little hotter, and they've got some pretty gnarly magnets in them because they've got some taller magnets and stuff, but they're not super duper hot. And you can still get there without being so hot.
Evstathio says, excited to hear that lovely Leslie is now indeed a discount code.
That's right.
Also, I think the black telly with the tortoise pick guard and matching pickups looks sick.
We'll get there in a minute.
The old Desperado said, I want to buy the Enduro Tort acrylic set.
So I have that one right here. I might as well, I'll show you that right now. Oh, wait. This is actually not the Enduro Tort. This is a different one. This is almost like a wood grain, but it's actually translucent. Here, we should probably, we have the power. This is going to look awkward for a second.
Glad it's you.
But this is like a wood grain almost, but you can see the coil inside. It's like super kind of a translucent looking. So this pickup set will be available on Saturday. And we do have the Tort ones, but we have the Tort ones and we have this one. The Tort ones are kind of more leopard skin spotty looking, where this one is a little bit, I don't know. This is really classy. And then while I've got it zoomed in here, I'll show you the other one. This is actually mine. I'm going to put this in my,
Aim it down, like, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to put this
on it.
in my Texas Toast Icon. This is Mother of Pearl Enduro. And then I've engraved like a lace pattern on it. It's hard to see in this picture, but when we take photos for the website and when we do the video, there you go. You can kind of see it there. Mm-hmm. So I've actually engraved like a lace pattern into it that I think is just really, really cool. And so this is actually going in my guitar, but I'm going to make them. So if you guys want them, you can have them too. So anyway, and then I've got, when we start talking about the telly stuff, your mind is going to be blown.
Your mind's going to be blown.
Yeah.
David Girala said, Find My Guitars just released a thing saying they did some kind of half-bake, in my opinion, analysis of a bunch of guitars by weight, and they're trying to talk tone. I want your reaction, LOL.
We talk about this quite a bit, right? I think your interaction with the instrument is really important. And if you don't connect with it because it doesn't vibrate in your lap, or if because it's too heavy, then you're never going to sound good because you're not going to play well. You're not going to interact with that instrument. So I think about that with other stuff. I have pocket knives that are really cool, but I can't use them for certain tasks just because they hit my hand wrong to push a certain way or pull a certain way or whatever. I have tools in there too. I have like a Phillips screwdriver that I use for one thing, but when I use it for other stuff, it just doesn't feel right. So that's the way the guitar is. And so if it vibrates enough, or if it's light enough or heavy enough, that could all come down to personal preference. You can put any guitar in Eddie Van Halen's hands and he's going to sound like him. You could put Joe Satriani in any guitar in his hands and he's going to sound like him, because he's figured out a way to be flexible with all these various different guitar types. And that comes with experience. And I think, and I hate to be that like practice is the way, blah, blah, blah. But experience, I'm not even going to say practice. I'm going to say experience and exposure to different materials, different build types, different whatever. Don't pigeonhole ourselves so hard into bolt-ons aren't as good as blah, 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 or whatever. Just play all of them and find your space within that stuff. And if you, if you're the guy that says I can't play fat necks, go buy a guitar with a fat neck and learn how to play it. So that you can be flexible and find whatever tone that guitar gives you that weighs that much, or that has that fat neck, or has those big frets or little frets or whatever. You can still play the guitar. You might just play it different, and you might find something new. That icon, that Texas Toast icon, that's been the thing for me. because it's so weird and different that it makes me play the guitar different. It makes me approach. I don't play the same old riffs that I play on other stuff because I'm like, whoa, this is so different. And so I think a lighter guitar or a heavier guitar or one that vibrates less or one that has a fatter neck or a thinner neck or any of that stuff, it's your interaction with the guitar that does that. I don't think it has anything to do with a blanket statement that heavier guitars have more tone or whatever. Like, I don't think it has anything to do with that. Rant over.
Jose Daniel Zamora P says, hello, Dylan and Leslie. Are there any updates on the Cerakote people?
No. I don't want to say something that I can't. But there are none, but it's coming.
Shane Walton, are tonal issues more prominent depending on the type of music you play? I have the idea a jazz player would be more of a tone connoisseur than a dude who plays grunge.
I mean, I think that, I don't know. That's interesting.
I think it just depends on the person.
Yeah, and it depends on if your band sounds the way you want it to sound. I mean, I played in a really sloppy rock band, the last band I was in. But if I didn't sound the way I wanted to sound, it drove me insane. I mean, I was playing $5,000 amps at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was testing a lot of pickups and stuff. And I'd go to a gig and be like, oh my God, this sucks. I hate this guitar. And, so like, yeah, it was a sloppy, loud band, but I still had to be like, no, I don't like this. It doesn't work. You can't hear my solos because the mid-range isn't right. You can't hear, whatever. My other guitar player played a lot of slide, so we had to work together on a lot of stuff. Like all that stuff. So yeah, I played in a real sloppy band. I am a very sloppy player. And so I'm a great example of that, really. Like, but I think it's just different. What you're looking for is different. I think about that with bass players. I'm like, you have 4 strings and it just goes boom, 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 boom all the time. But these dudes are wicked picky about stuff on one hand, but on the other hand, they'll be like, oh, this body is made of 70 million pieces glued together and it sounds awesome. And a guitar player will be like, single piece body only, or I won't play it. You know what I mean? So it's just all about what you're into.
Miserable Turd has the same question I had.
What?
He said, what's Dylan drinking? Tang? LOL. What are you drinking?
No, so my water of choice right now is this sparkly water it's peach flavored.
You're drinking the peach one?
Yeah, I like it.
I put it on a different shelf thinking he's not going to drink this.
No, I like it. I like it a lot.
So what is that?
Old fashioned.
Nothing to do with the water.
No, nothing to do with the water. It's just an old fashioned, but I didn't have any lemon to flame into it.
Why is it orange?
So the way I make my old fashions is I take this is a rye whiskey. This is a Contradiction, I think. And I take a rye whiskey, I pour 2 fingers in the glass, and then I take a sugar cube and I soak the sugar cube with Angostura bitters and I drop it in the glass and then I muddle it. And then usually I'll take an orange peel and I'll flame it with a crack torch. And then I'll put it in there after I've put a big block of ice, because I have the big ice cubes. And I'll put that in there and that'll be my old fashioned. But with this, since we didn't have any lemons, I just did a of lemon juice in there. But the orange, I think, comes from the Angostura.
Okay. I was really worried. I thought the water made it that color. And I don't do orange. So I was like, oh my gosh, have I been drinking that?
No, and what happens is, so you're asking what's in the bottom. So the sugar actually slowly dissolves, which is really fun because this drink will actually continue to evolve and taste kind of be complex over the hour or whatever that it takes me to drink it. Yeah. No, I love old fashions. It's like my favorite drink. That and a 2 olive martini with, I have a whole nerdy way to make a martini too. I should make some martinis. I haven't had one in a while.
Mm-hmm. All right. So it's not Tang, but
No, it's not Tang.
Hugo Welty. Go ahead.
And I picked a fruity one because if I was drinking them back to back, I didn't want to be like, oh, here's this, didn't want it to be peanut butter or something, or, whatever. Some kind of opposite flavor that made.
We're not buying you peanut butter water. That
No, I'm
sounds
just teasing.
disgusting.
I'm just teasing. We have peanut butter liquor, don't we?
No,
No, we don't, actually.
no. We have cinnamon and salted caramel.
Yeah, that's right.
Hugo Welty. Question. Got a Duncan 59 in my LTD EC.
Mm-hmm.
Never really liked PAF types in the neck mixed with high output bridge pickups, which is what I have. What would you recommend that has a bit more power and heft?
So if somebody says I have a 59, if somebody says I have a JB, if somebody says I have a Jazz, those three pickups, the number one replacement from us that everybody does is an 8-ball in the bridge and a center punch in the neck. That is about a 9K pickup. The wind is really wonky. It's something that, as far as I know, we do. The bridge pickup will be a ceramic 8 magnet, and the neck pickup will be an Alnico 5. Do not worry about the ceramic. It's very, very good. People think that that's like a cheap thing or that it's going to be super brittle. It's not. But if you're replacing a little 59 or a 59 or a JB or a Jazz, that combination, center punch in the neck, 8-ball in the bridge, dude, it'll blow your mind. It'll be so good. And then if you want to put a coil split on it, then you'll have like a proper single coil tone with no volume drop as a side benefit to what you're doing. Yeah, no, that's what I would do.
Stop kicking me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm over there like playing footsie
Wiggling me. Searching for Tone said, I got a smoker for my old fashions.
We have one of those. I just don't use it very often.
I was going to say, did you know we still had one?
No, I saw it today, actually. Or yesterday.
What were you doing?
Yesterday, this is probably for off-topic hour, but yesterday I was cooking something. Oh, no. I was making a protein shake, trying to find, and I never did find, actually.
What?
The agave syrup.
It's not in the spice cabinet. Is it in the tea cabinet?
I don't know. We'll have to talk about it later and find it because I've been wanting to do some protein shakes.
Why do you need sugar?
Well, I actually ended up not needing it, so it was fine. But I was looking for it, and in the course of looking for it, I found the cabinet that has all of the smoker stuff in it. I guess that's what I'm telling you.
I wonder what made you think I would put it there in such an inconvenient spot.
I was checking all cabinets. So we've only lived in this house for, since February or whatever. And
I've redone the kitchen.
And you've redone.
Totally.
Yeah, we've rearranged things and stuff is, whatever. So yeah, I'm always like, wait a minute, where is this? I don't even know. And we used to have like all of our coffee cups were in a certain spot. Well, now we have a separate coffee bar. So there's like stuff over there. Like,
and I've moved those like 3 times.
Yeah. Some of the travel mugs are over here. Some of the, I don't even know. So I don't even ask because I don't want to bug you like you're working or whatever. And I'm like, I'll just open all the cabinets. I need to learn anyway. And so that's why I ran across the smoker.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
Really funny. Miserable Turd said he's going to fax you some vodka to put in that fruity juice.
We do that on a regular basis. Man, this is good. I like this contradiction rye too. I usually get bullet, but I wanted to try something different. I really like this.
All right. Miserable Turd says, question, can you install the Dylan Pickups vintage Augusta patch on the front of a multi-camo trucker hat? If you can, I'll buy it. If you build it, they will.
Multi-cam trucker. So do you want like the tall, flat, like a baseball cap, or do you want a multi-cam? So I have this hat in black multicam, and I can put that patch.
What is that patch? Vintage Augusta.
So I have that drawing, and I've done it in acrylic, but I could do it in a.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it's cool. I could
Maybe you'll see it in a drawing.
shoot me a message on the chat on the website, and I just want to. So these are Richardson 112s. That's the hat that I stock the most of. We don't stock a lot of the flat brim tall ones, which is my favorite, but a lot of people don't like those. So just let me know. This is the 5-panel Richardson 112 trucker. This is the one. And I do have 2 left, I think, in black multicam. And I have the patch I have in blue, green, red, orange, maybe some other colors too. Ask the next question, and I'm going to grab the other thing because I want to show this guitar, this kind of the grand finale of the drop before 9 o'clock. So ask the next question, and I'll come back and answer it.
You'll come back and answer it. Well, the next thing is not really a question. Rob F says, has anyone noticed the European guy advertising his pickups while watching Dylan's videos? We don't get to control that. They don't control that either.
You know, if I see somebody spamming their products in my stuff, I'll hide them from the channel, but I
thought he meant like it was an ad.
Oh no, maybe it's an ad. I don't know. Yeah.
Maybe I missed
that. I don't control ads. People ask me that all the time. Somebody was really kind of aggressive the other day about like, well, I would be cheaper and this is how I would do it if I was, blah, 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 blah. And, I don't think about that much. I'm to the point now where I want to make what I want to make. I want to have fun doing it. I want to make stuff that you guys will like. And I want to make stuff that's unique and helps me be creative. This whole thing since I bought this laser has been so fun because it's not about competition. I know we're 10,000 pickups into this thing. We're 11 years into this thing. We've made over 10,000 pickups. I know what we make is good. And I have the confidence about that without I also know that if whoever was chatting earlier decided that he liked his 59 better than he liked my 8-ball in the bridge, I am totally cool with that. I am not offended by that because it is a flavor. Like, I hope you have all of them. I want you to have Lawlers. I want you to have Porters. I want you to try everything, but buy one of everything that we make too. Like, I think that's what it's about. So I'm not going to jump down somebody's throat for wanting to do what they do. I think it's great, and I think everybody should do it. The only folks that bother me are the ones that actually spam in our comments, and then the other ones that bother me are the guys that are like, there's a couple of brands in the United States who are like selling $35 single coils and $50 humbuckers and stuff, and well, I can go to so and so place and they're really aggressive about it. And I'm like, but at the same time, all of you like what we do. So I don't really worry about it.
Yeah. Rob said it's a YouTube advertisement. Yeah.
I don't control that
They
stuff.
can't target channels. We can't choose what goes on there. Like YouTube does all that.
Yeah. The reason that happens is because you're interested in guitar stuff.
Yeah.
And so they show you that as an advertiser. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, I have no problem with that at all. Watch all the ads.
That's funny.
I wish I could hide people from the channel that have ad blockers.
Miserable Turd says, trucker hat. I have a big head. I love that patch. And then he said blue ? So I don't know
I could do it.
Where y'all got with that.
I got you. Just shoot me a message on the website, on the chat, and I'll take care of you.
Shane Walton said G&L Z coil pickups turns 35 years old this year.
Isn't that crazy?
Do you think they would have caught on with players if Leo Fender had introduced them to the Fender line back in the 60s?
I don't know. Maybe because it was earlier in the development of the electric guitar in general. Maybe, I suppose.
The old Desperado. What sort of difference does it make when you use the rods instead of screws for the Enduro?
Oh, big time. Because the if you use a screw pole, you have two. So a P90 is actually two humbucker magnets on either side of that row of screws in the middle. And it's so the magnet strength is way higher within the coil and to the poles. Something you got to remember. We'll use this clear one as an example. Not only are we
5
talking
minutes left.
Okay, not only are we talking about the strength of the magnet in relation to the strings, okay, but we're also talking about the strength of the magnet within the coil. That's really what we're concerned with. And so if you have two magnets underneath here that are magnetizing the coil from the bottom, that's different than having two little rod, 6 little rods that go through the middle of it. So yeah, it's a huge difference. Huge difference. Before we go on too far, these are going to be on the website this weekend. This is a
There's no way the picture's doing that justice.
no. I'll take good pictures of this. You cannot see this, but there is a pattern engraved in this. This took me an hour to make. This is really, really pretty.
It is.
It's very, very cool. That is a Telecaster. Let me show you that one last. This is a green sparkle translucent pick guard for a Tele, which is super cool. And then we have because I've been experimenting with all these acrylics, and then this one's like a purple sparkle within a clear. Now, the reason I'm leaving the Tort one for last is because one of the folks who ordered the Tort, so we have this, we're making pickups. Right now, these are available on the website. You can buy Telecaster pickups with the tops made from this. And so I think it was Timothy Potter, Dr. Tim, he said, hey, can I get a pick guard and a control plate made from this? And I was like, I wonder if we can.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't know where the idea
I wonder
came
if
from.
we can. So
Dun, dun, dun.
is a matching pick guard and matching cover or control plate that will match the pickups that go with this. I am very seriously considering adding this to the website where you can order, where you can order a set of pickups, a normal set of pickups. Maybe you just want regular pickups, but you want your control plate and your pick guard to match. Maybe you only want this. Maybe you only want this. Maybe you want your pickups and your control plate and your pick guard to match, like Dr. Tim does. Also, what if you don't want it in tortoiseshell? What if you want it in some other color? So we ordered a sample pack of all from my supplier of all the acrylics, not all of them, because there's like literally hundreds, but a wide variety of acrylic colors that we have available to us that then I'm going to put together like a drop-down box and be like, I want this with this color and be able to put these combinations together. And I think I'm going to add it to the website as a production thing. They're not going to be cheap. I'm going to tell you right now that a set of pickups with a matching pick guard, matching pickups, and a matching control plate is going to be $350. But honestly, that's pretty reasonable when you figure a Strat pickguard loaded, regular Strat pickguard loaded is $350. So, if you go on Etsy or you go on eBay or you go on wherever, there's a lot of folks that are making this and this matching together with no electronics for $200. So I'm like, well, if we sold these for $30 and we sold these for $60, and then we packaged it all together, we come up right around $350 with pickups and everything. I think that's really reasonable. So I'm still playing around with that, but that's about ballpark where it's going to end up being. And then you'll be able to get, I don't know, anything, whatever you want. And we're going to probably slowly over time put together, do we want a humbucker here? Do we want a P90 here? I'm going to write all the programs and put it together in little drop-down boxes and you'll be able to do that. So this weekend, you're going to have a very limited version of that. We're going to release like one or two color, probably one. It's actually going to be this. We're going to release this color in a set that you're going to be able to get for $350. And yeah. So, and if you order it within the first 2 hours, you're going to get 20% off with lovely Leslie as the discount code.
So it's 9:00.
Excellent.
We have 6 things sitting. We're going to let them go and move on.
Let's do a lightning round of those last couple questions. How about that?
All right.
Since I talked a lot tonight.
Rob F. Dylan, since you started making your own flatware, do you feel that your pickups sound any better?
No.
Evstathios, for my next project, I have been thinking modifying a Squier Affinity Telecaster Deluxe. What pickups would you recommend for it? DAFs or something else?
DAFs for sure, but make sure, because if you have wide range pickups in that, if it's an actual deluxe, they won't fit.
Hogman Hawks, I'm not sure what this is, but he said DTT Hot Single versus the new ones.
Oh man, the new ones are good.
Mike Jones, hey Dylan, what's up? Me just studying the differential equations of harmonic motion in a spring. It's a point of tone loss, I believe, in guitars. Oh, maybe that's not a question.
I think you're overthinking how a guitar works, but I love your enthusiasm for it. I have done a lot of engineering and thinking on the harmonic balance of a spring back in my days designing dirt bike parts, when we were designing valve springs that could survive at 14,000 RPM. So I love your enthusiasm.
All right. And last one, Kyle Ketchamonia says, hey, Dylan, what do you think of the TV Jones P90 sized Filtertrons? Thinking about getting some for Eastwood Stormbird.
If you like them, get them. I'm not a TV Jones fan because I'm not a TV Jones fan, but they get them. They are the best at that.
All right. What time is it? 9:02.
Oh, that's a song. It is 9:02. Do you know where your children are? So here's what you're going to do. You're going to ask questions that are off topic. We're going to do an off topic hour. We're going to hang out. We're just going to get to know each other. If you have a guitar question, it has to be in a super chat after 9:00. If you don't like that, that's okay. Just come back earlier next week. But please get in the comments and ask off-topic questions. We love doing this. This is really fun. I look forward to doing this every week, just to hang out with you. And this is what, to me, makes the 100,000 thing worth it, is knowing that you all are here and we're doing this together. So we have some that came in from Patreon.
Looks like we have one.
Oh, is there?
You ready?
Yep.
Jay, have you ever tried using the Lansky, is that right? Sharpening system for knives. It makes a ridiculously sharp knife. A bit more work, but very consistent.
So I think so.
What are you using? It's very sharp. I have
So Lansky sharpening system is, I'm sorry, I forgot to look this up. Okay, so the Lansky sharpening system is interesting because what it does is it basically fixes the knife. You can take it down if you want. It fixes the knife upside down, right? And then there's these rods that the files roll on that it goes like this on both sides. And I think that's amazing, and I've never actually used it. What I do have is the kind of the opposite version of that, which is the Work Sharp Precision, which fixes the knife sideways like this, and then you can do one side at a time, and then the knife pivots over, and then you do the other side. So it's the same concept, But instead of it doing this way and you doing both sides at a time, it does it one side and it flips it over. I would love a Lansky system, but they're really, really expensive. And I feel like I can get really good with results with what I have, so I don't really worry about it.
Evstathio says, how come there's no cherry in the old fashioned?
Because that's gross.
Yeah. Even when we go out, a lot of times you
I'll
ask
tell
for
people
no
don't
cherry.
put a cherry in it.
Yeah.
Yep. Because I don't like maraschino cherries. They put maraschino cherries in them, and all they are is a bunch of red food dye and sugar.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, those are two things that I just don't need. And they don't add anything to me, to the drink that I like.
Yeah.
The citrus side of it with the lemon or the orange, depending on where you get it. You know, like if you're out at a restaurant and they don't do it with a lemon, they'll do it with an orange. And that part with the Angostura bitters makes sense. But putting a cherry in there to me is just like red food dye and sugar that I just don't care about.
Yeah. I always thought I didn't like cherries, but it's because that's what I thought cherries were. And then when I had a real cherry, I was like, those don't taste like that at all.
Mm-hmm. Now, if you put a real cherry in there and it was tart, then that might actually make it.
Yeah.
That might be a thing.
Because strawberry rhubarb pie.
Oh, strawberry rhubarb rules. We were in Door County, Wisconsin,
Yep.
in the motorhome, and there was that place that you could buy a homemade strawberry rhubarb pie, and then you could buy them frozen and take them with you. And good Lord, that was good. That, to me, that's like almost makes it worth it going back just for that.
Let's go.
Okay.
It's going to be cold soon.
I'm ready.
Go soon.
Mm-hmm.
We were just there. Close.
We
were
were
much closer.
very close to it a few months ago. Yeah.
Okay, folks. Come on.
July 4th weekend, actually.
Yes.
Another off-topic thing. So if you guys are wondering, you'll see the red blanket. This guy over here, Wyland, my biggest snake, he will not eat. And so I'm trying a different kind of feeder with him tonight. And I put a blanket over him because we have these big bright lights and stuff, and you don't want to.
We want to give him some.
We want to give him some privacy, basically, and because it's weird. Like we've got another snake in the dining room, and he does not like you to watch him eat. He as soon as you walk away, he'll eat, but if you stay there and watch him, he won't eat. So I'm trying to give him privacy. I've had him a couple months and he will not eat, and I cannot get him to eat. So we're trying some experiments. That's why he's got a blanket over him. Been playing with humidity, been playing with heat, been playing with all kind of stuff. He's healthy. He's fine. They can go a year probably without eating, but just keep trying stuff.
Greg the Walrus says, if you're going cherry, you got to spring for the Luxardo cherries. Those are actually pretty great.
Now, you are not wrong about that, and I have thought about that.
I don't know what that is.
Luxardo cherries. We've watched How to Drink uses Luxardo cherries.
I like that guy.
Me too.
Joe Healy says, where's my fur child at? He's still treating the kitchen and living room space like his own personal racetrack after van life. The 20 by 40 foot area is huge to a min pin.
That's funny.
That's so
Hey, buddy.
cute.
Speaking of fur child, hey, Bandit. Bandit, come here. Come here.
Jay Valente said, yeah, I have both, but the wife requests I use the Lansky. She uses the tomato test as well. If she can't sit a tomato on the blade and when she lets go, it slices the tomato, she has me strop it.
We were just discussing this because, in our kitchen, we have some Japanese cutlery and hand-forged stuff. And I'm pretty anal about it. And the petty knife. So in Japanese, the petty knife would be the paring knife that we use in America. that's what you use the most.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was cutting a tomato the other day, and she's like, "This is not cutting a tomato how I want it to cut." So I had to spend some time on that thing and get that thing going. But that's actually a carbon steel core with a stainless cladding, that particular maker. And then I have a Gyuto, 240 millimeter Gyuto that is all carbon steel. I have a Nikiri that's all carbon steel, 135 millimeter, I think, 140 millimeter. And then I have a Bunka that is the same as the Petty. I have a set. And then we have another one we have is it's made by Bradford USA. I don't have any kind of affiliation with them or anything, or affiliate links or anything, but check out Bradford USA. They make some really nice stuff. And we have 2 kitchen knives by them that are very Japanese inspired, very thin.
People are really nice too.
And the people are super nice. They're super cool. We've gone and seen them for the last 2 years at Blade Show, and really, really cool people. Yeah, really nice stuff. And I think those are I can't remember. There's some kind of stainless, but they're really, really good. Really good. I should do a video on the other channel about the kitchen stuff. I have not done that.
We have a lot.
This weekend, Saturday, is National Knife Day. So I think what I'm going to do is on the other channel, I'm going to do a live stream and go through my entire collection.
Oh my word. How long's that live stream going to be?
Probably an hour and a half.
Zombie Dust XXX says snakes after moving sometimes won't eat until they're ready. I think no snake eats until it's ready.
It's true. I've got one snake though. So we have 3, and I've got one snake that, oh my God, that dude, I'm not feeding him tonight because he's in the middle of a shed, but you put a mouse in his enclosure. You don't have to hold it. You don't have to do nothing. Like it doesn't matter. And you just put it in there, and he's like 15 seconds later, he's like all loving on that thing, and he'll like explore around it and love on it and hug on it and stuff, and then strike, and then he's done. He's like.
Eric Lettinger said, have you tried live bait for the snake? Maybe it likes to hunt. I don't know anything about pets, just a guess. They say that's dangerous, right?
So if this snake does not eat in the next couple of months, I've got a local breeder that I've got my other 2 snakes from, who told me that if I had problems feeding, that they would come over and supervise a live feed. And we would do that, and that would be okay.
He's playing with a bug.
Is he really?
I don't know where he got a bug from, but he's playing.
So speaking of hunting, the dog is hilarious when it comes to bugs.
It, but he doesn't want it.
So we have the dog does a couple of funny things. The dog goes out in the backyard, and there's a mockingbird that lives with chicks, that raises chicks in our, what is the name of this tree right here? The one that's right next to the grows over the sidewalk.
In the front?
Yeah.
It's a tea olive.
Okay, so there's a mockingbird with little babies that lives in that tree. And that mockingbird will come and sit on the back. We have a 6-foot Telecaster fence.
Not the same one.
Not the same fence, but a different fence. In the backyard. And that mockingbird will sit on that fence when the dog is outside and dive bomb the dog. It is hilarious. And so there's a whole kind of interaction and funny stuff that happens with that. And then we have a lizard, what are those little green lizards that live around here? I don't know what they're called. Anyway, you know the little green lizards. They turn brown sometimes, but then they're bright green when they're happy or whatever. We have one that lives in the garage, will not leave. I'm sure it goes outside and comes back in.
I don't know.
I don't know, but he lives in the garage. He's totally fine. So the dog goes out in the garage. Of course, the laser is out there. We have raised deck flooring in the garage. So it's kind of part of the house. You can go out there in your socks and, whatever. And so we'll go out there and we'll be working and doing stuff. Brianna has a Cricut machine out there. She's been doing that and a shirt press and all that stuff. And anyway, so the dog will be out there just hanging out and chasing the lizard around. Like that's the thing. And then he chases bugs. And he'll actually like grab bugs out of midair. It's hilarious. Yep.
A knoll. Is that what they're called? That's
What?
a lizard name?
I don't know.
ANOLE.
I've never learned what those are.
I bet Keely would know.
She might. We have a friend that's like really into lizards. She's like, I like snakes. They're my third favorite animal.
Zombie Dust says mockingbirds are the a-holes of the garden. They are mostly jerks to each other.
Oh my God. It's so funny. And yeah, so we have doves that live on top of the chimney that you can hear
They just
through
sing
the
to
fireplace.
us.
Yeah, you can hear them through the fireplace.
They're either on the fireplace or on the stove vent. Either way, the sound is coming in the
Yep.
house.
That's right. Yep. I was thinking about that today, actually. I was sitting in my office and I have right outside in the pickup building office, I have a hummingbird feeder and a bird bath right outside the window. And the dog, when Brianna leaves for work, the dog's like flipping out and like really lonely. So he'll come and sit and he'll just put his chin on the windowsill and just watch out the window. And we have what's the tree in the front yard, the big one? Not the big one, but
some kind of crab apple, just a dumb tree. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Anyway, there's birds that live in that too. And they were super chirpy today. So it's been like, I don't know, like 95, 101 with like the highest humidity ever. Like you walk outside and it's just like your shirt sticks to you. It's gross. And then the last week or so, or maybe just this week, there's been a complete change. Like you can just tell fall is coming soon. Like it's still hot, but you can just kind of tell that fall is coming soon. And the birds have been so loud, like super chirpy and super loud. And so the dog will sit there in the window and like watch the birds in the front yard. And
yeah, the birds in the big tree are like 24-hour birds. Because when we were in the motorhome, they
oh my God,
chirped all night long.
Remember when we were at that other RV park in town and that cardinal would come and sit and peck on the window?
Yes.
Oh my God. We had to like move spots before it would stop.
We tried everything. Jay Valente said, my new puppy likes to eat June bugs. Yuck. Those are big.
Those are big.
We just saw one. They're not really common here. Saw one the other day though.
Saw one in the driveway, yeah.
It was dead, but.
Mm-hmm. I still do need to do something about the ants in the yard. We still have one spot out there that I can't. We have way less ants along the sidewalk now. I've got that kind of sorted. But
yeah.
there's underneath the tree, the big tree, there's a couple of big ant hills.
They probably live in the tree because that tree's probably not healthy.
In the last, I don't know if it was the last big hurricane that came through. Maybe it was last winter. We had a last hurricane season. Because we didn't live here yet. Her parents used to own this house. So I want to say last hurricane season, we had a big hurricane come through. Because we're about 2.5 hours from the Atlantic coast. And so we get like the leftovers of the hurricane. And so it was really, really windy. And so we have a real big tree in the front yard and half of it broke off. And so now it's just not as healthy as it used to be. And when the wind blows, you can hear it kind of like creaking. You just know that structurally it's kind of, if it goes down, it's falling on the driveway. All 3 cars just gone. One shot.
We should park the van there.
We should park the van. Don't think I
Sorry.
haven't thought of it.
Well, people aren't chatty tonight.
That's probably because they're listening to us. I'm kind of talking a lot.
You are talking a lot. What else do you want to hear him talk about since he's talking a lot?
I don't know. I was
You
trying
don't
to
have
think
any
of,
after hours thing?
I was trying to think of any other things we got going. It's National Knife Day this weekend, so I'm kind of keeping an eye on, and I was trying to get myself in a position to, in case there was any big sales, that I could get something cool that I wanted. Because National Knife Day is a thing. So we'll have to see. I can't find a flashlight. It's driving me nuts. My little blue O light.
You've been saying that forever.
I know. I don't know where it went. I wonder if it's in the van, actually. So that's a thing. So I might get a new O light.
Why don't you go find yours?
Well, yeah, and I know where my my OLED arc feld is, but I can't find my little one. I thought I put it in here to charge, and I sold a gun this week, so that was cool. I've got 2 more for sale, so we'll see what happens with that.
Jose Daniel Zamora P says, does having reptiles help with mosquitoes? I mean, we don't get mosquitoes in the house, so.
No, we don't get mosquitoes in the house, and the reptiles eat rodents, so.
Well, not Rango.
Oh, yeah, so we actually have, I suppose that's true, we have 5 reptiles. So we have 3 snakes, and we have a crested gecko, and he eats crickets sometimes, but mostly he eats like a nectar-based kind of sugar water stuff. Really, it's got bugs in it and
It doesn't
all
bug
kind of
them,
stuff.
yeah.
And then we have a what was that thing? Bearded dragon, too. He's awesome. He's super cool. I really like him a lot. But yeah.
Miserable Turd said, what guns are you selling?
I am selling, I've got a Walther PDP 4-inch. So it's a Walther PDP compact. I think I'm going to sell that. I've got a Springfield Performance Center M&P 2.0. So it's a 5-inch full size 17 round ported barrel, stainless barrel. And I think I'm going to get rid of that too. Basically, I want to buy another 1911. And so I'm trying to sell some stuff that I probably won't use as much. I may sell my Shadow Systems MR920, but that's going to be the last one to go.
Really?
Well, if I buy an Alchemy high cap carry, I'm going to.
Tony Leonardi just became a YouTube member. Thanks,
Really?
Tony.
Thanks, Tony. He's been around for a long time. If I buy an Alchemy high cap carry, which is the 4.25 1911 17 round, double stack, then I won't need my MR920.
You don't need all the ones you have now.
Well, that's why I'm trying to sell them.
Okay.
Because, I mean, if I could have an Alchemy and I obviously have my Nighthawk, there's no reason. I mean,
Miserable Turd said PP380.
No, it's a PDP. So Walther PDP is is their new hotness. It's their new striker fire gun, and the trigger, it's the best striker fire trigger in the business. It's so good. It's not 1911 good, but it's good. Yeah, it's a great gun.
Jose Daniel Zamora P said, how's the new car treating Brianna?
Good, I think. Yeah.
She likes it.
Yeah.
She drives me places now. That's nice.
I know, right? Now you can actually ride with her and not worry that you're going to break down or.
Yeah.
Her old car would like shut off at stoplights and stuff.
Yeah. Not because it was supposed to, like the new car can, but.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ironic, but.
Yeah. No, that car's great. And that car's really great. I'm glad. And I'm glad she got a Volkswagen. I was thinking about it the other day. Me and her were talking about it. I was maybe 2 years older than her when I got my first brand new car, and it was a Volkswagen. It was a Volkswagen Jetta in 2003.
Zombie Dust XXX says, what are those angular panels on the wall called? I saw them on another podcast recently and thought they were cool.
Those are like they're an ABS plastic acoustic panel that I got on Amazon, actually. And they were not expensive. I want to say that whole wall maybe cost me $150. Yeah. So we just did.
We have them in
the living room too. Yeah. So we just did a video for those of you that are not familiar with the other channel. It's youtube.com/Dylan and Leslie. We just did a video, and I did a 2024 desk tour of my computer desk. And I was thinking I might do the same thing in here for the same reason, because people ask me about that all the time. And kind of what we used, we get these other acoustic panels from Wayfair. We've got a whole bunch of stuff in here. And then, of course, the podcast setup, the live stream setup. So we're going to do some other videos on the other channel. So if you go to youtube.com/Dylan and Leslie and subscribe, you'll see some of that more off-topic stuff. Because we just haven't been doing a bunch of that. It's, a lot of it's been fountain pen and pocket knife content, but people have been asking about the other production stuff. So
makes sense. Cool.
Yep.
Drink's gone. 30 minutes in.
Yeah. I am in the process too of getting in a spot. That's the other reason I'm trying to sell a bunch of this stuff that I don't need. I want to buy another laser. I know that's not totally off-topic guitar stuff, because we're going to use it for guitar stuff, but we're also going to use it for a bunch of off-topic stuff. I really want to buy a MOPA laser that cuts metal or that engraves metal, so that we can do even the next level stuff. So that's the other off-topic thing. I've been searching and doing some research and doing some looking on that. And we did buy a Cricut, and I bought a really badass one.
We bought a vacuum.
Oh yeah. We bought a robot vacuum. That thing is awesome. I vacuum more now than I've ever vacuumed, especially because I can just go over here to my phone and be like, vacuum the bedroom, and then it just does it. It's awesome. Anyway, that's all I got.
That's all they got.
Cool. You're going to see a video tomorrow. There's going to be no pick guard.
Sounds very threatening. You're gonna
see a video tomorrow. You're going to watch a Dylan Talks Tone video tomorrow. If I just will it happen? Like,
if you build it, they will come.
Everyone will watch my video tomorrow. Just like subliminally try to tell them.
It's creepy.
All right, y'all. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you tomorrow. Wait.
F. Stathio says, this might be somewhat guitar related, but not really. I just picked up my acoustic, which I haven't played in months, to play and sing my son to bed. Oh man, my fingers hurt.
That's awesome. I dig that.
That his fingers hurt?
No, that he's singing his son to bed. That's pretty neat.
Sounds like he needs to play more though. If his fingers hurt.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I hear anyway. I
think I was what it made me think of is I was like, wait, I don't have an acoustic guitar sitting down here right now. Like usually I do.
Slacker.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, y'all. Wait till Saturday's drop. Don't forget, discount, whole deal, man. It's gonna be awesome. We'll see you tomorrow.